Good afternoon everyone, this is Lou. Welcome to my 2026 planner stack video. So you will have seen, or you may have seen on my channel over the last few months, there has been a few unboxing videos from various planner companies such as Hobonichi, Sterling Ink and Rosey Life Planner. And I've now got to that point of the year where I'm kind of settled on my lineup for next year. As always, the caveat, this is subject to change, probably up until the last second and ongoing. But this is what I think will be my lineup for next year. There are a lot of books on the table in front of me. Not all of these will be used daily, and there is even actually a small pile where I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use. So we'll figure that one out as we go through the year. I just wanted to say thank you to all my recent new subscribers and viewers. There has been a lot of traffic recently and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the lovely comments and the likes, etc. If you have found this video, or you will find this video or any of my content useful, please do follow, like, subscribe and all that good stuff. So there are 4 stacks in front of me. There is a general planning stack, a journaling stack, a bit more of a lifestyle, I suppose, kind of stack. And then the 4th pile is, I'm not quite sure yet. Got a few ideas, but we'll see how and when I use them getting into 2026. So let's crack on. First of all, with the planning stack. So I suppose the one that isn't really changing. This was a change I made, probably August, September this year. To my work planner, I went from an A5 Hon in Liberty Fabrics to a disc plan planning system for the first time ever, and I'm going to be carrying on using this system. I enjoyed the flexibility and the manoeuvrability it gave me the last few months of the year, so I will be using the disc plan system with various inserts from companies like Rosey Life, Cloth and Paper, Jane's Agenda, Infinite Lotus and May Paper Co. Will be used through the planner as and when I either find them enjoyable or useful in my work life planning. So I'm not going to go through this in any more detail. Just to say that this will carry on into next year, and I'll probably do a separate video once I've got all my 2026 inserts and a final layout in here. I'll do a separate video at that point. Some of the stuff is coming in Black Friday sales, so not yet received. Right, so the littlest first. So this is a Sterling Ink Passport Compact in the horizontal layout. This is going to be my everyday carry. I had one for this year and I found it really useful to keep it in my handbag, so I'm going to do the same again next year. So this is my current year, so I'm going to use the same cover. So this is the Moterm Plum cover, I think. So I'll just be swapping the 2025 booklet for the 2026 one. So I generally, I don't use the notes pages as much in the back, but I just put high level monthly plans on the monthly pages, and then weekly events on the weekly pages. Occasionally I'll use the notes if there's something that I think of when I'm out and about. And I just need to write something down so I remember it for when I'm home. So that will be what I'll be using as my everyday carry. This is a little postcard that came with it, which is absolutely beautiful. So I'm sure that will appear at some point in the planner. Piles of planners all around me, so I'm just trying to figure out where to move them to and from. So the next one is again another Sterling ink planner. This is an N1 horizontal compact with the mist cover. Sorry, the passport cover was the mulberry cover, and this will be used as just my general planner for my personal life, and will be housed in this, which is another Motown cover in the teal, and it has the same function for 2025 as I intend for 2026. The only difference is for 2025 I utilised another Sterling ink monthly book for, again, just the same kind of details in my passport, but more to live at home and with more detail, just to keep my personal life, my to-do lists, all that kind of stuff, cleaning, that kind of thing in track. So I had a monthly book, and then I had a Paper Test Designs weekly layout, which I just used to do some tracking of events, and then some plans, shopping list, to-do list, that kind of general thing, with a bit of stickering in there. And then in the back I just had a blank Sterling ink notebook with the mulberry cover, just for more to-do lists like Christmas lists, football game fixtures, just things that would be more possibly long-term lists that I might want to keep, or I might just want to, I didn't want to put in my planner and just wanted it in a separate notebook. So I'm nowhere near finishing that notebook, so I'll keep that and then just switch in this N1 compact horizontal for these two books in the front. So that is my personal planner. Then the fourth planner in that stack is what I'm going to be using as my catch-all, and it is going to, this is where I probably should have put this at the end actually, but this is a Rosey Life Planner flow planner in A5 with the velvet plum cover, and it's in one of the plastic covers that Rosey Life Planner provides as well. And I'm going to be using this as my catch-all, so this is going to be my archive planner that I'm going to keep going forward and reference going forward in future years, rather than all the individual planners, although I may probably still keep those because I don't like to get rid of them. But this is going to be the go-to, like the Bible of what happened in 2026. So I did, when I did the unboxing, I did a bit more of a review of the layout, but my real intentions on this is the monthly pages will be events that happen, and the weekly pages I'm going to use to sum up all the information that happened in some of my other planners. So I've got that archive record, so I've got health data, I've got what happened data, I've got what happened maybe at work, what happened, how I felt personally, all that summed up into one archive planner. This is the first time I'm doing something like this, but I think that the flow planner that Linda of Rosey Life has produced this year lends itself to that format of combining all that information across all aspects of your life. And I've never felt that there's been one planner in the past that I could do that in, so it'll be interesting to see if that is possible. I did think about just buying that planner, but I like having all different planners, so, and I could never make a choice, I don't think, on just one planner. And I'm aware that I have that is a luxury, and I am lucky to be able to have that freedom to do that. But I think this is what suits my needs at this moment in time. Sorry, I'm just recovering from a cold, so bear with me. So this second stack is more journaling planners. So this here is my 5-year journal from Hobonichi in their leather option, which name escapes me because I bought it last year. So I've used it in 2025. As you can see, on the left hand side I put a summary of what's happened that day, both to me personally but also world events with the weather, and then on the right hand side I use a journaling prompt, and I've been pretty consistent with it throughout the year. The last few weeks I do need to do a bit of catching up on, but I have that information in my personal journal for what's happened to me, and then I can Google the rest and catch up on that. So my intention is to carry on with that for the next 4 more years after this one. It's also a nice way to use my fountain pens, and I've been changing the ink that I use every quarter, so that's a nice way to utilise, so I'll be carrying on with that. Then the next one is this Sterling Ink A5 Complete. So this is a new product that Sterling Ink brought out, and it's similar to the Flow Planner, probably less pages, and especially on the weekly element, but again the idea is to give you a bit more of an oversight. So I will be using this as my journal for 2026, my daily journal. This is a hardbound book, so I have concerns about what will happen when the journal naturally grows bigger, but I'm going to see how it goes, just because I know what's happened to my book this year. It's quite chunky. So this 2025 daily journal is a Sterling Ink, what's their version? Not the compact, the other one, the complete maybe, full version. So that's with a page a day for journaling. So as you can see, I do sticker on every page, I tip in vellums and other bits and bobs, so it has got quite chunky. So this planner would have started probably about that thickness, so it's grown quite a bit. So yeah, we'll see how this holds up to it, but I love the layout that she's got. I love the concept of this new book, so we'll see how it goes. So that's going to be my daily journal. And then the last one is, sorry, I just need a drink. An A6 Liberty Fabrics on the Sasha Kiora pattern. My intention for this is to use it as evening pages, so just to write some thoughts in before I go to bed. The Hon cover, and writing it in bed, it will be, having the cover will just make it a little bit easier to use, I think. Just to keep it on my bedside cabinet and then just writing it quickly before I go to bed. So that's the plan with that one. That's a new one for this year, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. Then the fourth stack is what I generally loosely termed as lifestyle. Let's start with this one here. So this is the Peony Hobonichi weeks with the, what's the cover called? The Unassigned clear cover with the pattern. So this is a normal weeks, it's not a and mega weeks, and I intend to use this just for meals in general, so meal planning, meal recording, that kind of thing. I've used a weeks for a similar function this year and just found it really easy to use, so I will be carrying that information on in here. This one is another Rosey Life Planner in B6 in the Blue Breeze cover. This is kind of a bit more of a stretch on what I'm going to use it for, so something a bit different for me anyway. So kind of going to try and use this as an overall well-being planner. Some of the sleep elements, how I'm feeling, weight, water usage, all that kind of stuff. Try and get it in a bit more detail. I tried to include that in my weeks last year, and that element, it just became my weeks this year just became a bit of a more meal planning element, and the other bits slid away because primarily the lack of room, and just I hadn't got the layouts really that I wanted. So I'm going to try and do something in here, but that's still a bit of a work in progress, how I'm going to use some of the different pages. So we'll see how that goes, and that one may change if it doesn't work, we'll see. And then this is a Hobonichi leather cover, and in here I have, oops, go away. In here I have a cousin. I have a cousin in 2025, and I've used this as a bit of an ink journal, so trying out new inks, new pens, keeping track of how many inks and pens I have, keeping track of what ink is in what pen, what inks I've used through the year. I do have an Excel spreadsheet for some of that stuff as well, but I do also like writing it down. Different ink and pen combinations and which ones I liked and which ones didn't, and so forth. So I have another cousin and I'll be using it for the same purpose in 2026. Right. And then the final stack. So I have here a strawberry milkshake, I think, in the weeks. Again, not a mega, just a normal one. I have the Mystic Berry cover with another Unassigned cover, and inside there is an A6, I think it's called Arts and Planner, English planner book. And then I have the Yumi Kitakishi cover, and inside this I've just got a A6 Rosey Life Planner notebook. I'm not quite sure what I will do with these three. I have a couple of ideas. So I've been using a second weeks this year to log the amount hours worked, annual leave, and then with my team as well, similar kind of thing. I may do that in 2026, but I could probably put that in my work planner, so we'll see how that one goes. I've been using an A6 notebook for a bit of just general doodling, that kind of thing, so I may again use that here. I do also want to keep some sort of track of like political events and that kind of thing, that I think that'd be useful to see for the whole year. But again, I'm not quite sure if that will happen. Similar to my lineup in 2025, there were a few planners that I didn't quite know what I was going to do with. Just tried a few things, moved on, tried something different. We'll see what happens with these three. They'll find a use, it's just what happens, what I need on that moment, and I suppose until I'm in that moment I won't know. So yeah, that is my 2026 planner lineup. There are a lot of planners there. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. Has been over the last few weeks, I have, as the deliveries have come in, I've tried to get an idea on what I want to use things. I think what I've learnt maybe for next year is, before I even make the purchases, I probably should be having those thoughts. And I did try this year, but you get caught up in purchase fever, don't you? And you're like, oh, I want that new nice shiny thing that's just been released. I'm not saying that I regret any of my purchases, but I probably could be a little bit more intentional in the future. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. As I said earlier, if you have enjoyed it, or if you like this kind of content, please do consider subscribing, liking. If you've got any questions, then post. And have a good day. Thank you so much.